Alright. So now down to Hoenn. I think this is actually longer than Johto, from what I've seen. I'm gonna go a bit faster through this one just so that the VOD isn't so long, because last time it took so long to edit. Okay, first Trico. It's my favourite of the starter trio. Is it? Not for the basic forms. For the basic forms it's Mudkip, but I still like this line more than I think the rest. I think Trico is fine. Yeah, I give it a solid C. I think this whole line gets a C tier. Mega Sceptile gets an A tier, maybe? No, it gets a B tier. Out of all the Dragon Megas, it's probably my least favourite. I think the others are just a bit cooler. I think that the problem with this design is that it's just a bit too overloading. Like, I like the rocket tail thing. It just doesn't really fit well with the rest of the design. I'm not sure what the theming's meant to be here. Torchic. It goes in C tier as well. Combusken is a little weird to me. I don't like the proportions. I think that Torchic and even Blaziken just look a bit better in terms of proportions. Speaking of Blaziken, I used to really hate this. It's grown on me a little, not loads. I'd give it a C tier. It doesn't go... It used to be like a D. But I've come to appreciate its design a bit more. It's also fun and competitive, the speed boost and the sword stance and something like that. Is firefighting, I know there's a lot of hate around firefighting starters. I like this one. It's not the best firefighting starter, in my opinion. Is it the worst? Yeah, it's actually the worst. But that's not awful. It could be in these lower tiers. Its Mega is really cool. This is actually my favourite Mega of the starter trio for this gen. It feels more like a powerful Mega than the others do. Like, Sceptile just looks a little bit goofy, and Swampert, it's a bit... Actually, no, Swampert's Mega is good. I just don't really like Swampert enough to like its Mega. Mudkip, though, I love Mudkip. Who doesn't love Mudkip? Mudkip's great. Mudkip gets an A. Does it? No, it gets a B. I wish its evolutions looked a bit better. Like, Marshtomp and Swampert both might get a D. I think Swampert could have been cool, but they made its face a little bit goofy. And then its Mega gets a C tier. Poochyena is fine. It's used by the evil teams in this game. Yeah, Poochyena gets a C tier. It is just the dog. There's not really much else to say. Same with Mightyena. Mightyena, I honestly like its design a bit less than Poochyena. It's not enough to put in D tier, but they could have gone more intimidating with this. They could have even given it a third evolution. Zigzagoon, I like Zigzagoon. It's cute. It does get a B just for cuteness factor, but I can't put it higher. Galarian and Zigzagoon, kind of the same thing. The black and white does look a bit cooler, and I like how they made it a bit sillier. And then Linoon and Galarian Linoon go in C because they don't really have the same cuteness factor. Linoon is kind of fun to use with Belly Drum and it learns extreme speed for some reason, but it's never been very good. Wurmple. I forget that this is this gen. I always think this is Gen 2 for some reason. I think this still goes in C tier for being just a bug. Both of the Silcoon and Cascoon can both go in... No, yeah, it is D tier. No, it's C tier. I can't put in D tier because there's not enough there to dislike. Because D tier has to be like dislike. I like if there's something about this design that I actually don't like. In C tier, it's just okay. Yeah, this is fine. There's just really nothing there to comment on. I think this whole line, actually, you know, I will put Dustox a little bit higher because it looks a bit different. It doesn't look. It does look a bit like silly in a not positive way, but it doesn't look awful. And I think I respect what they were doing with this because it looks a bit distinct from the rest of this line, which Beautifly doesn't. Lotad. This whole line gets a B tier, I think. I like the kind of dancer thing they've got going on, and I like the kind of hat lily pad, that's cute. Yeah, there's not much to say about this. I think that Ludicolo is a cool design though. I appreciate it. The C dot line. This is like a counterpart to Lotad. C dot goes in C. Nuzleaf goes in D. E actually. It looks too wooden, but also too human at the same time. it just doesn't really suit the kind of like... It doesn't suit the humanoid form. I think they should have gone with something a bit more, you know, Pokemon-like for this. Shiftry does get a B though. I'm not sure exactly what this is based off actually, but I know its inspiration has something to do with birds, which is a cool link to go from like the seed to a bird. They could have made it grass flying. I don't think they needed to. Grass Dark is cool as well, because it has like Early Bird and Wind Rider as abilities, and then it gets like Hurricane and stuff. But yeah, I think this just looks a bit cooler. It drops the whole humanoid thing. It still looks a bit like humanoid, it's bipedal and stuff, but it looks a bit more like a Pokemon. Swallow and Taillow. I can't remember which one's Swallow and which one's Taillow. They both get C tier though, for being birds. Wingull and Pelipper, I love these two. Pelipper became one of my favourite Pokemon from Pokemon Sword and Nuzlocke I did, where I carried my entire run and then died to Oleana's Salazzle because it outsped. That was very sad. But yeah, this is purely biased because there's really not much to say about these designs. I just like them as Pokemon rather than for their designs. The Ralts line, I think is a bit too Gen 1. Actually, yeah, they all go in D tier. The colour scheme is nice. I just think that they look... There's just not much there, and it just leaves like the humanoid form, but without any extra decoration to make it less humanoid, you know? So it just kind of ends up in this almost the same boat as Mega Mewtwo X, where it's like... It just looks too much like just a regular person. Also, it's Mega. This is not a Mega. There's barely any change there. Sasuke and Masquerain. These both go C tier. Masquerain should have kept the water typing, I think. As Intimidate, which is quite cool. Shroomish and Breloom, I love these two. The whole mushroom fighter thing is cool. The colour palette is great. This gen has my favourite colour palette out of any gen. Like, these just look so good. Yeah, it's just a very solid design. Slackoth line. I like Vigoroth a bit more than the others because like a super energetic sloth and they kind of did something with that. I think they all land in C tier though. Slacking was actually a quite cool, as much as I don't like its appearance, it was a cool idea for a Pokemon where it's like just a massive drawback to it, but its stats are amazing. Obviously it ended up being awful because you could just protect every other turn, but it's still a cool idea. Nincada, I think it's a C tier. It's a Cicada. Cicada's kind of cool. It's kind of just here for its evolutions, because the evolutions are a lot better. These both go B tier, I think. Whismur. Is it Whimsa or Whismur? I don't know. It's kind of creepy. Its eyes are really creepy, actually. I don't like when they do like... Actually, no, I like when they do different stuff with the eyes. It's just this one doesn't really do it for me. Loudred and Exploud. I always forget about these two. They just look a bit off-putting. It's got like the Gen 1 off-putting vibe to it, even though it's not Gen 1, and that's not a good thing at all. Getting put in the machine, I love the Wurtzmer line. Well, I'm sorry that you have bad taste. Makuhita. I don't know what to say about it. Same with this evolution. I think it's a kind of cool one. Its colour palette is great. There's just not much there to its design. Azurill, I think? Yeah, this is Azurill. I just like this line. Amazing colour palette. Nose pass. Its concept is cool. I don't like its big nose. Skitty and Dalcatty, I like these. These are some of my favourite normal types, actually. This gets an A tier, actually. I love this line. Same with Dalcatty. Sableye. Sableye has like some really dedicated fans. I have noticed that. And there are a lot of people who really like this mon. I think it's cool. Its Mega is great. The mon itself? C tier. Its Mega? A tier. I love this Mega. The colour palette is so good. I love purple and red colour palettes. Like, that's just so much bias, but I love it. And the massive, stupid, oversized gem it has on its eye is so cool. Magic Bounce is such a good ability. Mawile. Okay, this whole Mawile is so good. I love it. The regular one gets a beta. It's just a cool design. I love the big mouth in its back. Mega Mawile S tier. S tier. This is so cool. Aron. Why did they name it Aron? I don't get it. Laron? I like this a bit less. I don't like the holes all over it. To be honest, Aron does have that. Yeah, I'll move it down a bit. I don't like the holes. Aron gets C tier because it's a bit more intimidating. These things just look a bit goofy. Even though Laron is trying to be intimidating, it just comes off as a bit... Oh, that's just a funny steel rock thing. Aggron actually looks like, okay, yeah, this thing looks scary. Mega Aggron, I like how it's just really emphasizing like the ungodly defense that it has, but I think that its design isn't much of an improvement. It's also the only Mega to lose one of its typings. It loses Rock and just becomes Mono Steel. Meditite. I like both of these. I like Meditite and Medicham. Fighting Psychic is a really cool typing to have. I don't like the colour parts as much. That might... Yeah, it does get bumped down a bit, actually. C tier. The colour palettes aren't as good. The white is a bit off-putting. I think they could have added in, like, a accent colour, something like that. Like, this thing could have worked with, like, and even, like, a bit of blue, and this thing could have a bit more red. I think that would work. Mega Medicham, though. Mega Medicham is definitely B tier. They do add a bit more in the colour department. They add yellows, they add blues. I like this. It looks a little goofy, but not to the point where it drags down the design as a whole. Electric. I never liked this design. Actually, no, Manectric looks awful. Yeah, Manectric is an F tier. It looks awful. Why does it have holes in its ears? Why is it just a spike? Its Mega is good. Its Mega is good, I'll give it that. I love the lightning bolt kind of thing it's got. This thing looks goofy. This thing looks cool. This thing gets a C tier. Plusle and Minun. These are my second favourite Pika clones, because there are two of them, and that's the only reason why. And also because I added another colour that isn't just yellow. Volby and Illumise. This one had a lot of like counterpart Pokemon. Yeah, they're fine. Don't have very much to say. I feel like I should have more to say on them, but I don't. Roserade is a really cool Pokemon. Roselia is fine. Spinder. I like Spinder. Yeah, it's beta. It's just a kind of funny Pokemon to find. The colour palette is pretty good, based on a red panda. And like the swirls all over its body. Gulpin. I'm not sure what this is meant to be. It might get a D tier because of that. I just don't know what this is meant to be. Same with Qualla. Why are there like diamonds on its body? This is a weird design. It gets sword slants. Why does it get sword slants? Why is eyes red and are so beady? This isn't. That actually no, that gets moved down a tier. What is this? Carvana. Unironically, Carvana looks so much cooler than Sharpedo. Like the spikes on its body and the color scheme are just so much better. This gets a B tier. Sharpedo gets like a D tier maybe. Its Mega barely looks cooler. Its Mega's a bit spikier. Actually no, its Mega is a bit cooler. I'll give it that. Strongjaw is cool. The speed boost is maybe better. Whalmer. It's kind of funny. I like its smile. Yeah, he's a happy boy. I like Whalmer. Wailord. Its whole gimmick is that it's massive, and that doesn't do anything in gameplay, which is a shame. And its smile isn't as funny, unfortunately. Numel. I like its colour palette. I like the fact that you can kind of see that it's going to be a volcano based on like the little spot on its back, so it's not a surprise when it evolves into Camerupt. I think that it gets a C tier for being kind of just a camel, but Camerupt is quite a good design. I like Camerupt. I like the volcano camel. What can I say? Mega Cameraptor is actually one of the better megas. Torkoal will be the sunsetter that everyone will always use. Spoink. It dies if it stops jumping, which is unfortunate, and it makes me sad, so it goes to D tier. Grumpig though, Grumpig is kind of cheery. It gets C tier for being a psychic pig. Trapinch is a really cool design. The fact that it just emphasizes one part of the Pokemon, that being its mouth, is great. I love when designs do that. Vibrava is another A tier, because dragonflies are my favourite animal. Second. Flygon as well, this thing is great. S tier colour palette, S tier typing, S tier move pool, S tier stat spread, and S tier Pokemon. I have a shiny one as well. Cacnea. I actually quite like this. I like how spiky it looks. I actually kind of like the holes it has for eyes, yeah. This is a pretty interesting design. I like it. Same thing with Cacturne actually goes a bit lower into C tier. I like its hat, but it loses a bit of the spikiness somehow, even though it becomes a more spiky shape in a more triangular. Okay, Swablu. Swablu is solid. It's kind of nice. Normal flying isn't super cool. It's like the Twitter bird. Beta. It's cute. Altaria though, I love Altaria's S tier. This thing was my favourite Pokemon for ages, is still like top 3, top 4 maybe. Its Mega, even better. This is the best Mega, in my opinion. Dragon Fairy is such a cool typing, it's a unique typing, there are no other Dragon Fairy types. This thing has a cool stat spread, it's mixed, it can run Dragon Dance, it can run like Earthquake, Return, because it's got Pixelate as well, which is such a good ability. Yeah, this thing goes top of S tier. Zangoose. It's kind of cool, kind of a bit edgy. But yeah, I think honestly it kind of like goes with the edginess and it wears it well. I'm gonna be honest. Beta. Survivor. It's just actually no, it's got a blade on its tail. Yeah, this is Beta. Okay, the tail blade is actually really cool. Yeah, I didn't see that before. Lunatone and Solrock, they're both cool concepts. If they both got like some sort of mega or like even like some sort of joint evolution would be cool. Like they both evolve into the same Pokemon. Or you need like 2 of them to evolve into one. That would be cool. Barboach. It's kind of just a fish. There's honestly not much to say about this. Same with Whiscash. There's nothing to hate, nothing to love. Yeah, Whiscash is actually quite funny. I'll give it Beta. It's got a W on its forehead for Whiscash. Corfish. C-tier. Crawdaunt though. Crawdaunt is cool. Crawdaunt is Beta. This thing is quite scary as well. It's really good in national decks, I think. Like Dragon Dance, Aquajet, Crabhammer, Knockoff. Yeah, this is a cool design. Baltoy. Actually no, Baltoy's D-tier. Its design is a bit off-putting. It looks a bit haunted, if that makes sense. Like, this thing looks like a creepy object from like a horror movie or something. Clay Doll looks a bit cool because it looks a bit more alien, and it looks like it's kind of meant to be unsettling. Baltoy just looks like it's coincidentally unsettling, but Clay Doll's a bit cool. Laleep and Cradily. It's kind of off-putting. Yeah, it's very off-putting. Why are its eyes in like a black void? Leap is a bit more intimidating, so it gets a tier higher, but it's still just a weird design. I don't really get why it's grass type, it kind of looks like it should just be pure rock maybe. Anorith. Anorith is kind of cute actually. I have to give it... I'll give it a C tier. It doesn't deserve a B tier, but its eyes are kind of cute. Armaldo. It doesn't have the cuteness factor. A lot of the fossils, I don't like a lot of the fossils actually. I get what they're trying to do and they're kind of meant to look kind of different and out of place compared to the other Pokemon. But I think that just kind of backfires on them and makes them just look a bit weird. Feebas is ugly, but it's meant to be ugly. Yeah, D tier. But it's kind of meant to be D tier. It's not meant to be a Pokemon that you like. Milotic. Milotic I have a love-hate relationship with this thing, but it still gets an S tier, and I'll explain why. So I did a Professor Oak challenge of Sword and Shield, and if you don't know, that basically means you have to catch every Pokemon as soon as it's available, and you can't get the next badge until you have caught every Pokemon before that badge. So Milotic was like, I think it was the last Pokemon I needed before fighting the champion. And there are two ways to get Milotic in Sword and Shield. One, you can either fish at a specific spot for like a 2% chance of a Feebas and go through the whole process. You've got like a whole process to evolve it. You have to do that to evolve into Milotic. The other way is there's a specific raid den in the Lake in the Wild area where there is, I think it's like a 5% chance to get a Milotic from like a purple pillar coming out of the raid. I chose the raid den, and I don't know why, and I completely regret it. I was there for 3 hours. I was just sitting there, resetting my game until I got it. I got it in the end, and I named it 3 hours after that. It still sits in my Scarlet and Violet save as one of the Pokemon that probably be in every team I ever use. Cast Form. Its weather gimmick is cool. Its gimmick could have been a bit better, like it could have got like a stat boost maybe for each weather, like for Sun it gets like a special attack boost or something like that, I don't know. Kecleon has a weird gimmick. It's got colour change, which is kind of a reverse Protean, that it changes colour to changes type to match the type of the attack that hit it. It's kind of just a worse version of Protean, honestly, because it still has to start off as normal type, and then you can just hit with the fighting move and just kill it. Sharpit. Its eyes are cool. I can't really say much about the rest of the design though, so C tier. Bayonet. Bayonet is a very cool design. Actually no, its regular one goes in C tier. Its Mega though is like an A tier, maybe even, no, yeah, A tier. Its Mega is so cool. I think they should have made it Ghost Normal maybe, but it is still like really cool. I love the zippers and how it kind of unzips to reveal its like other form underneath. That's really cool. Yeah, that gets an S tier actually. This is one of my favourite Megas. Duskull. It's kind of just a skull with a ghost in it. Yeah, C tier. Dusclops. There's a bit more with the design. It's not enough to move it up a tier, but it does do more with the design and I appreciate it. Tropius. This is a cool design. This is a B tier. It's so annoying to fight in random battles, but it's also kind of funny because it's so fun to use in random battles. They should have made this dragon. They should also give this a Mega. I don't know why it doesn't have a Mega. It's a perfect candidate for one. This should have been the Grass Dragon Mega instead of Sceptile. That's my hot take. Chimeco. I like this. It should have got an evolution. Or it did get a pre-evolution actually, it got Chingaling. I think it could have had a third stage. It kind of looks middle stage-ish. Absol. A lot of people love this. I don't really think anything of it. It's kind of just... its theming is kind of cool. It's meant to signify like bad omens. Its Mega is very cool. I like the kind of angel vibe it's got. They should have made it like maybe Dark Flying or Dark Fairy or even like Dark Normal maybe. Why not? I'll put in C tier. Snorunt. It's C tier though. Glalie is a very weird design. Why is it just some face that's just like angry? What is this? This is like almost Hitmonlee levels of bad, but not quite, because Hitmonlee is a whole other league of its own. This is just really unsettling. Yeah, that's an awful design actually. Mega Glalie is maybe worse? Why did they choose this for a Mega? Why this? Spheal. Moving on to much better spherical Pokemon though. Spheal is great. I love Spheal. Who doesn't love Spheal? Like, you literally can't dislike this thing. Steelio is a bit... It kind of loses some of the cuteness factor, because it's not spherical anymore, unfortunately. It's still C tier. Wolverine is actually quite cool. I like the whole, like, ice blizzard thing that's got going on with its head. Clamperl. It's kind of just like a prerequisite for two cooler Pokemon. But still C tier. Huntail. I actually quite like Huntail's design. I think it's meant to be based on a harpoon, I think. Shell Smash is a cool thing it's got. Like, it looks, to me at least, it looks less goofy and more scary. Okay, Gorbis has such a cool name. It's a shame that they wasted on this Pokemon. It looks kind of harpoonish. I think it is based on a harpoon. Unfortunately, it gets dragged down a bit by the design not having as much going for it as Huntail does. Relicanth. It's based on a Coelacanth. So not really much else to say about it. It's got like a weird red dot on its side. This makes you think like, this thing would have looked cool if it had like a bit of red in its design, or like a bit of blue, because Coelacanths are blue. But they just made it like a dot, and that's just a bit... Why do they do that? Like, why? Love Disc. Somehow it isn't a pre-evo to Alomomola. I don't know how, but it is Love Disc. It sure is heart-shaped. Okay, this whole line, the Salamence line, they all get a D tier. The colour palettes aren't great, I'm going to be honest. It's still very striking, it's still 6 for 3 colours, which is good, but the blue, red, white isn't very interesting. Mega Salamence isn't very cool, but what is cool is Roaring Moon, because Roaring Moon is actually a paradox of Mega Salamence rather than regular Salamence, and I think that's very cool. Mega Salamence on its own, though, is just... like, it just seems a bit more going on than just big wings, I think. I do still like, and actually, I will move up a tier for this, I do still like that they amplified one bit of its design, and just took it to the next level. Beldum. I like Beldum. Beldum gets a B tier for kind of being like weird and mysterious. It's got that like Bronzong kind of vibe to it, where it's like, you're not quite sure what this is. But Metang and Metagross, just D tier. These things are just really, really off-putting and unsettling. Why is Metagross like a frog turtle thing? I don't like this at all. Its Mega is a bit cooler, because it ditches the whole frog turtle thing and makes it actually try to look very intimidating and very strong. It's a very good Mega in my opinion. It still gets a C tier though, because I can't really put it any higher than that. Okay, the Reggies. I think I might be like one of the only people to do this, but these all go in A tier. I love this legendary trio. I think this might be my favourite trio actually. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. Their theme music is amazing. I love how alien they look and how mysterious they look. Latias. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put these guys in B tier, because I think they're kind of cool. The jet plane thing is cool. Their Megas are so good though. And a lot of people rank the Megas down because they look the same. I think that's great, because I love purple and I also love dragon types, and that is the entire reason why. But these guys both get an A tier. Kyogre. This is a good legendary. Yeah, it looks very intimidating. It definitely looks like it's the ruler of the seas. This is Beta. It's cool. Groudon. Same thing, I think. I think it just does a great job of telling you what it's meant to be. Like, these both look like they're rulers of land and sea. Their primals are A tier. These are so good. The colours are so great. How they look like they're like pulsing with energy is so cool. They're also like really broken. Primal DLC and Desolate Land are so good. Also, they're perfect counterparts in my opinion as well, because this was the first gen where they really did like counterparts with the legendaries. Because before this, like, you had, in Gen 1 there weren't any counterparts, it's just Mewtwo. But then in Gold and Silver it was Ho-Oh and Lugia, which didn't really look like they were kind of related at all. These things look like they're opposites, like they look very opposite to each other, like the colours, the designs and everything. Rayquaza. Rayquaza is, I think, the perfect third legendary. It's a beta. It's very clearly, like, compared to these two, it's very clearly the third one, you know? Like, they're all green with the same kind of markings on its design. I also very much like the accent colour of red here. It works very well. Mega Rayquaza, yeah, this thing is so cool. Esther. At first I didn't like how big the head was, but it just helps it look way more intimidating, and I love it. I love like the little like tassel bits there coming from its head. They just make it look so intimidating, and this thing is absolutely broken. Yeah, It had a whole tier created for it, and that's hilarious. Jirachi. Yeah, this is a very good mythical. This is actually, yeah. Actually, yeah, A tier. Doom Desire is such a cool name for a move. This one's a bit more interesting, like the star is very pronounced, like the blue tassels on its head. I'm not sure exactly what its inspiration is, but those are very cool. And the whole idea of it sleeping for ages and then being woken up, I love it. Yeah. Okay, Deoxys. This is a Pokemon who has, like, shot up for me. Before I would have put, like, E, F maybe, because its design looks off-putting. Now I'm going to put an A for the exact same reason. This thing looks so alien, similar to the Reggies. Like, this thing just looks so otherworldish that it just is so good. The blue and red contrasting makes it look more unsettling, and the kind of whole virus nature of it looks really dangerous too. I also love the face, how the face looks so human. It also kind of looks like a mask. It just makes it look really sinister and kind of... Yeah, I don't know what I was going with that thought, but I love these guys. Also, this is like the first kind of experimentation with the different forms, and it makes so much sense for like a DNA Pokemon. Is that the whole gen? That is the whole gen. That was a lot faster. I think Sinnoh is going to be... Sinnoh isn't actually too big, honestly. There's a lot of Arceus forms. Yeah, thank you for watching. Goodbye.